Oh, when last we met, we had a trio of adventurers on the road to Emberwood Village, which lies just a few short miles outside the capital city of Drakkenheim. We had Artio, a GIF, riding along with a apothecary slash plague doctor by the name of Dr. Renara. Renaro? Renora? Renora? All right. And we also had traveling with them Layla, a cloaked young woman, and they were assaulted on the road. I don't know if they were assaulted at first. At first, there was a stick up on the road. Some people came and tried to hustle them for some money, and chaos ensued as their chariot driver, Mr. Ernie, fired a musket and it went horribly wrong, and Mr. Artio took one of the leaders off his horse directly, and they eventually scared the bandits away. As they made their way just outside of town, they encountered a group of adventurers harrowed from their experience in Drakkenheim, and they told stories of how difficult it was to venture into the city and how they had failed. And in the middle of the night, one of their comrades suffered a monstrous transformation as a result of the contamination of the haze in that city. Our intrepid adventurers dispatched that monstrous creature that poor fellow did become, and it set the tone for what awaits them, shambling through the cities or through the city streets of Drakkenheim. So, you guys are on your last leg of the journey. It is the morning in Ernie's cart, and he's looking forward to selling a ton of goods in Drakkenheim and making a killing there at that outpost. And the three of you are riding along, the familiar crackling of the branches breaking under the spinning wheels of the cart. A little off put by last night's events, but nevertheless excited at the prospect of finally today, after weeks on the road, entering Emberwood Village. Is there anything any of you three would like to say or ask each other as you begin this journey?
Yes. Layla will turn to the doctor and, excuse me, doctor. Do you happen to remember maybe treating a tiefling? Have you ever treated a tiefling? Maybe a few years ago?
I have treated many forms of different people in many different stages of sickness. A couple tieflings here or there wouldn't be too far out of the question. Is there anyone in particular that you were looking for? Someone that, or can you give me more information about it?
Well, it was about 5 or so years ago. Female tiefling going in and out of consciousness.
5 or so years ago. No, at the top of my head, nothing stands out, but we do keep some records at my clinic in Emberwood Village. When we get there, I can definitely have my assistant go search the records to see if we can find the person you're looking for.
But I appreciate, yeah, any information on possible relatives. I'm hoping for a link of some sort to learn more about my personal history.
You don't need to go into such detail now. We just met.
Yeah,
But I will do what I can to help you. As soon as we get to our clinic, I will find our records and go through them.
awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. How are you faring with the wound, and he kind of motions to his your side.
It feels great. I feel like I wasn't even wounded. I can't even feel the crossbow.
Good. Um, this may just be because I'm a doctor, but I would like to take at least a follow-up examination in our clinic, um, just to make sure everything is all right. I want to redress the wound to make sure there's no infection growing.
Oh, yeah, that seems fair enough. I'll make some time.
And I'll turn to my to this gift friend of mine over here now. And how are you faring? Sleep well? No wounds or ailments as of yet?
I'm feeling good. I'm just after last night. I really feel like the city is calling me. I need to get to the city as fast as possible and help rid the streets from those monstrosities.
Rid the streets of those monstrosities. What do you mean?
Well, I think we can't leave those creatures roaming around, endangering the people there.
True, but would you say that trying to save them would be a far better, noble, or at least a better course than just outright extermination?
Oh, I think that from what I know so far, is all I've heard is that most of them are too far gone to be saved. And in this case, bringing peace to them is probably the best that we can do.
I've heard such claims as well, though I'm not too trusting of those claims. But
Hmm.
to each their own, I say. Uh, I will. I form, or I guess you could say, my philosophy or ideals would go more to saving than killing. But
Well, I will tell you this. If we decide to travel together farther on in the city, you're the doctor, you're our physician. If you find a way to save them, I will not be opposed of that. But I will not hesitate to put everyone out of their misery that is is beyond the point of saving.
I think you and I might get along a little bit. And he'll
That sounds
settle in.
good.
He'll settle in and just rest. I guess the rest of the way, if nothing else comes up.
RTO is
No, go ahead.
RDO wants to kind of look at both of them and says, I think I want to go shopping in a little bit too. If you guys want to join me, I definitely need to stock up on some things before we venture further.
You are going into the city. I have some things that I need to check out there as well, so I'll accompany you on your journey.
Yeah, I'll tag along. It's a new place, so it'd be nice to have a familiar people to explore with. That's fine.
Then it is a done deal. Let's venture forth together, friends.
You guys hear a "Hello there!" as Ernie shouts from the front of the cart. And as you guys turn your heads towards the front, you notice a strange sight there. There is a overturned rickshaw on the road. There is a grumpy little halfling there, and a hands crossed, fuming woman there as well. And it looks like the wheel has busted on this rickshaw, and they both look a little disheveled. What do they see, by the way, when they look at these two characters? Ariel, could we start with yours?
Oh, we can, yes. Very skinny, very tight top knot bun, dark brown hair, big, thick glasses, and clothes that look a little bit too big for her.
Excellent.
Alright.
And what do they see in your character, Kevin?
Alright. When you see this, you see a halfling, but he's barrel chested. Like he's a pretty thick one. Red, fiery hair, with a little goatee. He's dressed in what we would consider like warrior's clothing.
All right. Ernie pulls the cart up alongside this curious couple here, and he says, "Hey, can we help y'all with anything?"
Well, it looks like I took that turn a little too hard, and axe is broken. We are kind of stranded here.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Big shame. Ernie seems a little more at ease, seeing that you're not some kind of ruse, perhaps, to waylay us travelers. He loosens his grip on his blunderbuss and says, "Hey, well, we're going to Emberwood Village. Is that where you guys would like to go?"
Well, let me look at the. Wait, Phoebe. Where is it you wanted to go to again?
I'm trying to get into the city as soon as possible, so if we have to stop at whatever this village place is...
All right. The missus here wants to go there.
Well, okay. Well, for just a shiny gold piece, you guys can hop on. Shiny gold piece from Ichiya?
Works for me.
All right.
All right. By the way, you guys each start with 30 gold.
Okay, all right.
Each start with 30 gold. So
Even
make that
better.
your default setting, and then -1 as you guys pay the
Yeah.
toll to Ernie, pay the fare, and you hop on to this large cart that's pulled by these 2 draft horses, and you notice there is a large hippo, there is a plague doctor, and a cloaked woman.
A large hippo, as in like this hippo has clothes on. Might be.
Well, how
carrying
about we let
weapons.
RTO describe what you guys see?
I've never seen this. It's weird.
Probably
Yes,
not.
please.
You see a humanoid form of a hippo who wears just leather pants and is shirtless and has a bunch of scars. Some look intentional, some look from unintentional on his upper body. And if you've ever seen a GIF, then you would know that he's kind of on the thinner and smaller side for a GIF, but also looking at him kind of gives you the sense that there is more strength hidden in him than the body would show, like kind of like a very, like, let's say a calisthenics athlete or something like that.
All right. I'm going to look at that group, and I'm going to pick out. Help me with the Layla, right?
Yes.
I was
Layla.
like, Miss, is your pet alright for long distances? I don't know what this is. I'm really afraid of biting animals.
I just kind of look at RTO and then back at Horace. I don't have any pets.
Suppose not one of yours.
I mean, you
I mean,
could try
that's
introducing
the thing.
yourself respectfully, but I'm guessing you're just digging yourself a hole.
Right
Here's
then.
your shovel.
I will.
Or you can try petting him.
I don't think so. Thank you.
As Artio listens to the conversation, you see his hand wander again to his heavy crossbow.
Oh, that's those items. All right.
Now, I do understand, Artheo, that it was very rude of him to assume that all hippos are either pets, or if that is what you are. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. They have paid their toll. If we attack them, then our travel guide, Ernie, may not take us to Emberwood Village, and we would have to walk the rest of the way. And as you can see from our past experiences, walking is not preferred, especially when there may be other monstrosities.
Artio kind of grumbles and is like, I prefer swimming anyway. Let's not walk.
Weeks. That's an interesting trick.
So Ernie turns back. He's like, "All right, you guys, y'all ready? Here we go." Yeah, and off they go. The horses. There goes the cart. It's a little more crowded than before, but in just a few hours' time, you guys turn around a bend, past gnarled, sickly forms of trees and the blighted landscape due to the effects of the contamination. You see this little outpost. Oh, smokestacks contributing their soot to this dreary environment, and Emberwood Village crests before you. As you guys are entering in through the main road there, what do they call it? Champion's Way, I believe. You see a little girl hanging out in a dead tree nearby. She's got this flaming red hair, probably not too altogether too different from the red hair sported by our new halfling friend. And she seems maybe about 10 years old, and she drops out of the tree and starts skipping over towards the cart where the horse is. "Hello, hello!" And says, "I know you, Ernie. And do you have my package?" And Ernie smiles a big grin and turns around as he slows the horses and drops her a bundle. And he says, "Yep, this here's the finest confectionaries, finest sweets and chocolates from Caspia, delivered straight to you, Miss Crow." And she goes, "Thank you, thank you." And she turns to the rest of you and goes, "Well, I don't know you guys. My name's Emma. Who are you?"
Name's Horace.
Horace?
Fogarty.
Okay.
I'm Layla.
Layla. And to the plague doctor, "I know you. Dr. R." And then she turns to the bund lady.
Oh my god.
"Oh,
Hey,
are you?"
Aldo.
And can she tell from your outfit? Are you wearing any designation of any kind of faction or anything? I haven't checked with you.
No,
Okay.
not yet.
So she just looks at you and goes, "Oh, and your name?" And you said,
Phoebe Aldo.
"Phoebe Aldo." Okay, and her eyes widen. The gift. "Oh, well, who are you?"
Arturian. I'm
Wait.
Artio.
Artio. Well, we had an elephant man through here once. That was really fascinating. But, he perished in the city. Some say that ogres wear his trunk like a boa.
Wait, lass.
Ogres?
An elephant man.
Yeah, there's like
What is
him,
that?
but like it with the elephant.
Wait, is this like a race of individuals? I've never heard of them.
Oh, you're one of those halflings that has only ever stayed in his little regional land.
Yeah. Only had to join out because I need to help my community.
Well, guys, is it your first time here, most of you?
Well,
Ah.
no.
No, yeah, probably not for the halfling. You've been to Emberwood Village before, not for the doctor who has residence here, but for the other three. She says, "Hey, can I give you a tour? For a gold piece, I'll give you a tour."
Artier looks around and is like, here we go. But you need to tell me more about that ogre.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's ogres walking around the city now, and they guard some of the gates. So it's very dangerous. And I think the Elephant Man and his party tried to get through the gates. At least that's what the Rangers said. That's what the Hooded Lantern said. And they try. I think maybe they're just trying to scare me, but they said they wear his trunk like a boa, like a scarf.
I think you
Ooh.
said that already.
Yeah. Well, it bears repeating. Oh, Ernie, can I hop on? Yeah, sure. And he lets her hop into the carriage, and you're going to give you a little bit of a tour of the town here. And let's go ahead and turn to your Owlbear Rodeo. I'm going to move us over to Emberwood Village. Bloop. Loading scene. Can you
Nice.
guys see Emberwood Village now?
It says Dungeons of Drakkenheim. I think this is.
This is it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You've
Okay.
done it. All right. So you guys arrived from the south. Hey, you guys arrived from the south. And as you do, she points out this burned down building that I have marked with EM over here on the side. She goes, "Oh, this place over here? That is the Eventide Manor. That burned down a long time ago. But you know what? I heard strange noises coming from there. Ooh, and the doors and the windows will open and shut all by themselves. So, yeah, I would probably stay away from there if I were you." And so that was nice.
Sounds
As
spooky.
a creepy, spooky introduction. As you come up, she points over to this building over here that says GL. This place over here is a lavish 2-story building surrounded by a veranda decorated with a swirl potential lodging, the Bark and Buzzard. There he says the Bark and Buzzard. That's a little one-level house, popular spot for locals and adventurers to hang out, have a brew, have a meal, and also these little buildings around it. They lease out to you guys for use, for lodgings, so you could have your own little kind of more private space and rooms while you're here in Emberwood Village.
Right.
And that sort of a thing. So she points these out as Ernie does a little circle around the village, and then eventually pops his own cart there in the caravan court and begins setting up shop. He thanks you all. Says, "Hey, thank you for being good. Muscle for my journey. I'm glad I paid you that advance. You saved me way more than I would have lost to those nasty guys with the crossbows back there. Eternally grateful. And if you ever need anything, don't forget to look out for Ernie." And
Mood.
stops.
Thank you.
Oh, and lastly, Emma Crow points out to the smithy over here. That's my poor attempt at a hammer. Hammer and anvil at the little smith, and says, "That's my dad's shop. He makes the best armor and swords you'll ever see. Really proud of my daddy." She says, "One of my brothers, he is an adventurer who goes into the city. But yeah, hopefully you guys will do well. It won't be one of my stories I tell to future adventurers."
Hoping to keep out of your storybooks, lass.
Bye. And she runs off. Now you guys are in town. And thank you for go ahead and labeling those for me, as I did not know how to put a proper label on those buildings. Yeah, the Bark and Buzzard is the Bark and Buzzard. Although Bark and Buzzard sounds fun too. Particularly because when you look at that establishment, it has a sign hanging above the door that features a cartoonish vulture feasting on the entrails of a bloodhound. Both smiling pleasantly. So there you have it.
Bark and Buzzard.
Yep, the Bark and Buzzard. There you go. That's the
Wild.
Skull and Sword Tap House and the Gilded Lily. Now that you guys are in Emberwood Village, what do you want to do? What do you want to hit up? Anything is here that you guys could think of. In terms of
Artio would like to stroll over to the smithy and maybe take the little girl with him and ask if he can try some of the chocolates.
Oh my god. So,
he says,
thinking I'm
"Oh,
going chocolate.
hey, wait a minute. I didn't even get my gold piece from you. Can I have my gold piece?
Yes.
Okay, you can have
Artio leans over and gives her a gold piece and kind of ruffles her head of like, I like you.
And
Frankenstein
she
vibes
hands
to me.
you a Caspian bonbon.
Mmm.
Fancy.
Artio unravels it with his way too big hands for this tiny little bonbon and pops it gently in his mouth and savors it, which is a funny sight to see a hippo
Very.
She
nursing
is
a little
very.
bonbon.
She watches you intently as you eat it. And she shows you the smithy since you're interested in that. Is anybody else following RTO to the smithy?
Hmm.
Yes,
Alright.
actually, just out of
No,
just random curiosity.
Yeah. The smithy is little
Alright.
more than a single-story log cabin with an overhanging thatched roof covering a workbench, stone forge, anvil, grinding wheel, various tools hanging along the wall. Um, and you hear Emma call out, "Daddy, look, 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 new adventurers!" And coming out of the shop is a man with fiery red hair and beard, um, drenched in sweat and soot, and wearing a greasy pair of old goggles. He just looks at you silently.
well met. I heard you're the smith in this town.
That I am.
Do you mind? Do you mind if I look around?
Oh, sure. I've got the best wares in town. Have a look.
And I look around and I'm like, well, would you be open for a trade? And I put up the heavy crossbow on the table.
Hmm.
I'm like, this is in prime condition, and I tuned it myself.
Uh, Takes a peek at it. Says, potentially. What do you have in mind?
I don't have much use for a crossbow. I'm I prefer my handy little walking stick as I tap on my with my quarter staff.
Hmm.
And but as you can see, I'm kind of naked here. I only have my pants. I would need some scale mail and a shield.
Scale mail and a shield. Well, uh, this scale mail can't offer you that for the crossbow. Plus, it requires a custom job there to fit your interesting frame. Um,
Hmm.
Shield, though. I could do a shield. Metal rot, iron rot, shield, large side. As he's kind of sizing you up, he's like, I could do that for the crossbow. I've got something here that could work with a minor modification to make sure it covers you.
R2 kind of thinks and is like, I don't think that that heavy crossbow. I think that heavy crossbow is worth more than a shield. I will need some more, but I tell you what, maybe we can sit down one day and I can start giving you, um, you can take measurements and then you might be able to get started on my scale mail.
Well, I look forward to an interesting project. It'll be the best mail you
Thank
ever
you.
have.
Thank you, good man. And I'll kind of wander off a little bit.
Yeah. As you're wandering off, Emma begins showing him her hoard of chocolates and bonbons. Daddy, look, Daddy, yeah. Yeah, it says on their Crow and Sons Smithy on there. But it appears that it's just Mr. Crow himself. Um,
Uh,
let's see here.
I was.
Anything else?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, Mr. Crow.
Yeah.
Have Have you ever gone in? Yeah, to the city.
Hmm. Ah, no. I've no time to go into there. What
Yeah.
can be found in there except monsters and ruin? I wouldn't set foot in there.
Have you always owned the smithy here?
Yes, yes. Smithy's been around for generation, and I do not intend to stop my practice, nor to relocate. This is home.
Have before Drakkenheim fell, did you or your predecessors ever have business in the city or contacts?
Um, well, wait, what was it you asked?
Did you ever have business or contacts in the city previously to its fall?
Funny, funny, of course.
Did
When you
you
make
know of any tieflings?
tieflings. Yeah, I've outfitted a tiefling before. It was many years ago.
Do you remember anything about them?
Well, mm, no. I mean, measurements are pretty standard to a humanoid in general, to humans, so, uh, no, they were tight-lipped individual.
Hmm.
Do you remember what they purchased?
Oh, yes. Um, we had outfitted that individual with a nice chest piece, nice chest plate, breastplate.
Thank you. Perhaps when I learn how to use weapons, I'll be able to be a customer, but
Are you going into the city? As he gestures to all of you.
that's the
Well,
plan for
that
me.
is the plan. Yeah.
Mm. Well, you're fools. I'll say that straight out. One, you're fools. Second, though, uh, I don't even dare ask what brings you to this place, to go into that hellhole. But, I do hear that there's a certain kind of metal that can only fall from the sky. And I would really, really like a chance to get my hands on some of that meteoric metal. I believe it's iron. If there's any of that in that crater or in the city that you can find, I do wish to try my hand at making masterwork from that kind of material. So, just as I tell this to everybody who comes through, but I'd really like to have a chance at that. So if you could find some, just know I'm willing to
Keep in
trade
mind.
or to
Yeah.
buy, whatever it takes. So
If we come back alive, we'll keep you in mind.
I appreciate that.
Hmm.
Anything else?
Oh, that's good.
Cool. Any other places you guys want to visit or check out or investigate?
All right. Well, Phoebe, do you have anything you want to do before you venture in?
No, especially not now after that man insulted us and called us fools.
Listen.
I'm a highly educated woman.
I don't know how long you've been here. I know.
The same amount of time as you, we drove in
Maybe-
together.
No. I've been around here. I've had odd jobs around. I know the city's bad. I know it.
Real
But
bad.
you're paying, so I'll be your detail for now, but city's dangerous. You may not come out alive.
I kept my wits about me and didn't say anything to him, but I really, really wanted to.
I don't fault him. He's probably seen many of his fair share of folks going in and coming out again. Just saying.
And then to ask us to bring him back supplies, like,
I
don't
think
know.
you're hung up a little bit. But don't worry.
No one has
Oh.
ever called me a fool before. And no one ever will again.
Oh, please, Chloe, contain yourself. We're gonna get through this. And we're not gonna die. Hopefully.
Well, if we are set on going into the city, I suggest we take a quick stop at my clinic, get any necessary supplies that you may need, do a once quick check over to see how there we are, and then go in.
All
And I'll
right.
gladly accompany you. I do need to make some more, at least a bit more supply runs. We are a bit low on certain supplies in my clinic, and some of which can be found within the city.
All right then. Lead the way,
If
I will
would
Doc.
all-
join you.
Yeah, if you would all follow me for a quick checkup, and we can head out as soon as we're done.
Will
Well,
do.
with
Yeah.
that, you guys literally cross the street over to Dr. Renara Oltier's clinic. And you want to go ahead and describe that building? So you guys enter.
Sure. So on the outside, it's basically a makeshift. It used to be an old storehouse, kind of made into uh, a hospitalized area. So as you enter, there's about 3 cots, two on the left, one towards the back. You see patients in there either getting a checkup from one of my nurses. So only one nurse is there. So she's kind of looking after things as I am gone. Um, it's as clean as one can be. There's a lot of blood, especially trailing into a room that says kind of like morgue type deal. From that room, there's a very nasty stench of decay. Um, you see kind of like potted plants as much. Potted plants and good smelling things as fragrant as we can put next to it to kind of mask the scent, but the smell of death and decay still wafts through a bit. And so you kind of So it's a old rundown clinic, and we're making the best that we can with what we have. So as I go on, I'll say, take a seat in any open in any open seat as you may find. Leva, if you could sit on the empty kind of like bed, basically what we use to use hospice or take care of people, and I can get the needed supplies and do a blood draw. Basically, I need to make sure.
Like in front of everyone? Or is this like a
We're
private
just-
room?
It's tech kind of. There will be a drawn like white curtain.
Okay.
That's kind of just like set up on a. It's open, but is some privacy there.
Okay. Then I comply. And I sit down.
Awesome. So you see me go back into not the morgue area, but like there's another storage closet right beside it. Open it up, and come back with a couple of needles and little bells. This should only take a moment. Please try not to move as much, so I don't stick you. And so he'll take the needle, get your arm ready, and just. Again, this is not against your will. If you're willing.
Yeah. Nope. She's complying, just quietly.
and we'll draw blood into a vial and set it aside. Oh, before I forget, then he'll motion for Janice, the nurse, to come over. Janice, can you run through the back if there are any records? You said about 6 years ago?
Yes.
About 5 or 6 years ago, can you bring all patient records over to me?
She would have been young, about 11 or 12.
Oh, that narrows it down. So yes, so any patients around, let's go under the age of 12, if we have any. Can you please go check in the back? I guess she'll scare you off. And so I'll finish up with Leia, and I'll be like, Altair or Altair, Artio, would you mind? Just to make a quick check to see how healthy you are.
I appreciate that, good doctor, but at this point in time, I'm at perfect health. I do not see the need of any further look into my health, but nothing changed. We remain the same. If I will need healing on the battlefield, I would appreciate your help.
Well, of course. I'm always here, both here and off the battlefield to help. And I'll look to Horace and Phoebe, if you would. Later, I'll kind of say, like, you can head back into the waiting room. Horace, Phoebe, this is just a general checkup to see if you have contracted any of the pathogens when you are out and about.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want that, so
All right. You know,
calm down.
You know.
Awesome. So, ladies first, and he'll escort Phoebe back, kind of pull that curtain away, get your arm ready, draw blood, and put it into a different vial, putting it out. Sorry, we don't have a lollipop, but then again, those are for smaller and younger patients like our dear Emma. And so he'll escort you back. Horse, if you may.
All right.
You'll go in, draw your blood, patch you back up.
All right. How long is this going to take, Doc?
Huh? How long is this going to take?
No, I mean like the results.
Should take about a day or so. If we are going into the city, I'll take about 5 minutes to store the vials, and then Janice will conduct the preliminary test results, and we shall see if we are all healthy or not. We should be able to. We should be able to get back the test by end of the day.
That sounds good.
If you aren't feeling any out of sorts right now, then I would say you all are healthy, just like what RTO has said. This is just an extra precaution for the horrors that, and he'll motion to Lelia and RTO. We have seen this delirium wreak upon other people.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen
kind
to
of
me.
grins, and as Horace comes out of that little like curtain drawn compartment, he's handing him a lollipop.
Where did the lollipop come from? Thanks.
And he just smiles down at him and winks an eye.
Oh.
I half expect that is a short joke, but
Yes. Yeah.
all right. DM, did Janice get back with the files yet?
Of course.
Awesome. So Janice, I'll take that file from Janice. Do we see any small tieflings at age 12 that I may have treated about 5 years back? Or 6?
Doctor, yes, we do have a record here. Tiefling, right?
Tiefling, about 12 years old, give or take a year.
Yeah, we have a tiefling here. Um, came in for some lacerations on her arms. Ooh, um, yeah, she was not doing well. Name was Layla. Um, yeah, you didn't put a surname on this one.
I was not given one. Um,
Hmm.
but he'll alternate Layla.
Hmm.
That is your name, no?
Yes. Thank you for your services rendered to me. I did not know who treated me, and now I do. So thank you.
I might have looked a bit different back then. 5 years in this delirium can do
Coil.
something to you.
I have very little memory of that time for obvious reasons if
It,
you see the file, I'm sure.
well, from what I've seen here, it just says we've had simple lacerations to, uh, what was it, the upper arm?
Arms, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
laceration.
yeah, and general kind of like what's it called? Lack of awareness, um, amnesia type effects.
Yeah, it was a very strange case. Glad you turned out all right. Have you and you haven't recovered any of your memories?
I just that time, that brief time is a bit of a blank for me. Whether it's my brain intentionally deleting that part of my life for survival purposes, I do not know. But I've always been curious as to who has helped me from my past mistakes and enabled me to survive and continue. So, thank you.
Anytime. Although I would say it's nice to see you again where it is. I'm glad it is on better terms. Seems we have come full circle. Me helping you in the past with an injury, and now helping you again in the
I would
present.
feel much better knowing that it is you who will accompany us, if that is your plan.
It is. Since RTO wants to go into the city, I cannot, with good conscience, not accompany people that have helped me, protected me. Um, so in doing so, I shall do a kindness in return. For we have little of that in this world today, as you can see with checkpoints and even the kindness of people turning. Well,
So what are you saying, friends? Are we heading out?
I believe so.
I guess so.
We're all stocked up here. We'll get the test results in later. If there's nothing else that you need from here, I ask you all, in the utmost respect and sincerity, uh, vacate the premises. We do have limited room, so if we can all go out. Uh, as Ernie said before, there is an inn that we can stay at um, as a more of a long-term basis, if you would like. But I do need the room for more patients.
Righty then.
Okay. She walks out.
Yep.
All right, and I'll turn to Janice. Make sure we test these. Get me the preliminary test results and then put them in my office. I'll do the second round of testing there.
Yes, doctor. And she resumes the tasks.
All right. I will follow you shortly after with my apothecary medical bag in hand, stethoscope hanging out the front, still in the plague doctor, wide brim hat, mask, and long leather robes and black gloves. So we are ready.
Nice.
So I was not paying attention to the tour. Where's the inn?
It was recommended to you to go to the Bark and Buzzard, way cheaper than
Over
staying at the
here.
Red Lion Hotel.
Ooh.
So the Bark and Buzzard would be a place to go if you're looking for a place to stay, or Red Lion Hotel if you've got a lot of cash to burn, and you want fancy beds.
Considering we did not want to pay the toll, I don't think the Red Lions Hotel is going to be a viable option.
Oh god.
Unless we kidnap the head of that and force him to give us rooms.
Yeah.
I'm good with staying conservative because we're not going to be here that long, right? We're leaving soon, so.
Yep. I'm only here
So
as
good
long as the
doctor.
job is. Yeah.
What do we need to get for you? You said you need supplies from the city.
Just more medical supplies. Lelia, if she would remembered, I did have a. Oh, this would be before your time, actually. Years ago, when I had my practice was in city. When the meteor fell, it kind of caused pandemonium and chaos. My family and I stayed as long as we could. Them staying with me, I staying to help the others around. And when the time came for us to leave, we had to leave in a hurry. So there's personal items and some medical supplies that I'd like to retrieve from my old clinic.
Then we should probably make our way there.
Sure. But I don't want to hinder you all with own personal means of mine. If there's anything that we need to get for you before, I would gladly choose that to do first.
So you guys are going to hop into town, and then you're going to hop into the city?
I think that was it. We were gonna put our stuff into.
What time is it?
Just FY, it's probably just after midday. The city is a few miles out from you guys. Remember, it's not like it's over the bridge. We're in the city, but the city is a few miles away. So we'll take you at least some time to get there, and you probably don't want to be caught out there in the evening. At least that would be knowledge to the doctor would kind of know that's not probably a great idea.
And
based on the
Horace
stories.
probably too.
And Horace hasn't done too much city work around the city, but he is familiar with like Emberwood Village and other outside of the city territories close to his hamlet. Yeah. But yeah, Horace would probably realize that you probably shouldn't go in the city after late too.
I don't know about you
Yeah,
guys,
so-
but I'm pretty tired from the travel. So I'd rather rest today and have a fresh start going to the city first thing in the morning.
It would be
sounds like a
better to
good
go in
idea.
the morning.
Where did you say you wanted to see your supplies at? Can you point it on the map with the pointer?
Who are you talking to?
Your supplies, doctor.
Alright.
Where do you believe your supplies are?
Clinic would be about right here.
Oh, in the south ward. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the inner city, my friend. That means you would have to find a way in through the city gates. Not in the outer city, but in the inner city. Of which you know it is frightfully dangerous. But not out of the realm of possibility, of course. But that would be a very harrowing journey if you are unprepared. Just FYI. So, yeah. And that would be up the gate up Champions Way. So, yeah. I can get you a little bit more information on that particular route that you're thinking of taking to do such a thing. But it sounds like another individual in your party wants to potentially stay. What do you guys make of what your aims are? Are you guys in favor of making a quick venture into the city? A quick hunt, so to speak? Get in and get out for supplies? Or are you of the mind of Layla and want to take a rest first? How does Phoebe, Horace, um, and feel about that as well? Because it feels like we've got two interested in going into the city on your first day. One thinking of waiting. How do you guys feel?
It would be, in my opinion, that we rest. It is too dangerous to go out. I mean, Lele and Altair, and I'll explain the kind of the encounter we had with another party who turned into a monstrosity to Phoebe and Horace, and explain that that wasn't even a full-fledged monstrosity. That was the early forms of them turning, and that was already a formidable opponent. If we go now, we will see that even stranger monstrosities, stronger ones that come out at dark and hunt. It is not a place to stay long when light fades. So I suggest, along with Layla,
Layla.
Layla, that we rest, gather up supplies, and make our way in the early morning.
You guys
Sure.
are making a very compelling case, so
Yeah, and I'm with her, so whatever she's gonna do, I'll follow. Good job.
Fine. I'm famished anyway. Let's go eat.
All right.
Okay. So you guys gonna make your way over to the Bark in Buzzard, is it?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take you guys back to the Bark and Buzzard. Back to Emberwood Village. Here we are. Let's see here. Horace, did you get a chance to eat?
I did not because I thought after the thing.
Okay. Really quick, let's take you guys to the Bark and Buzzard here. You guys approach it, as I said, it's got that curious sign of the vulture feeding on the entrails of the bloodhound, both of them smiling on the sign to the Bark and Buzzard. And let's see here. You guys enter in, and it's pretty cozy in there. No proper bar, no walls separating the kitchen from the dining room, just a few benches arranged beside the main cask, and about a dozen round tables surround an inviting hearth. A woman makes her way towards you and introduces herself. My name is Karen Alsberg. Welcome to the Bark and Buzzard. Your new faces here, some of you. So welcome. What can I do for you? Would you like a mug of Ember Ale? What would you like?
We need lodging.
You need what?
Lodging.
Lodging! Well, we do keep some cottages in the village and can set you up with them. We can rent you a cottage. It'll go about 2 gold per night for a cottage. I think that could accommodate... It's just little one-room cottages, but could accommodate all of you potentially if you like coziness. Or we could get a couple cottages.
I don't mind sharing with someone.
All right then, gang.
if it's all the same to you, I will be joining you on the journey and enjoying a nice meal. But I will be retiring to my own home.
Well, potentially, it might be even most comfortable for 2 per cabin, and then that equals 1 gold a night for each person, minus the doctor,
That
who has
sounds
his own
good.
lodgings in town.
I don't know if we've
Are
traded
you?
names yet. I'm talking to. But
Huh.
I'm Layla, and I'd feel more comfortable rooming with you. If that's okay. No offense to you, gentlemen. I just like a little privacy.
Seems reasonable.
Cheers, my friend.
All right.
Absolutely. Then he looks to Horace. Like, looks like it's the 2 of us.
All
Can't
right.
wait to
then.
hear some stories from your hometown.
Thank you.
I love it. The halfling and the hippo.
That sounds like a children's book.
The halfling in the Oh my god.
Have to
Uh,
warn you though, I snore a little.
All right, nothing too bad. I was
Just
gonna
gonna
say,
shake the
Grandma.
Gonna shake the foundations of the house.
So,
Comes with the face.
so she does assure you guys that you can have lodgings for the night. In the meantime, she does say they do serve hearty meals here, and they do serve Ember Ale, which is their proud house ale. If you want a meal, it costs you a gold piece, and since you're first timers here, she'll throw in a mug of Ember Ale on the house if you purchase a meal.
It's expensive. You weren't kidding.
No, this is a boomtown. Everything's more expensive here.
All right.
Prices are higher than normal. Everything's expensive. So, yeah, I mean it is a hearty braised lamb stew, fresh baked bread that you guys can smell that you have not encountered in a while, in a few weeks. This seems pretty nice. They make use of those provisions that individuals like Ernie bring into this village.
I buy one.
All right.
Yeah.
Meal.
Amen.
Meal.
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 Meal. Meal.
Ah.
All around.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
let
Make
it-
yourselves comfortable, and you guys settle probably on one of those round tables, I'd assume. You look at the other individuals in there. It's not too busy at this time. You do notice there's a trio of women kind of sizing you guys up from their table across the way. One of them very large. One of them seems more slight, bow across her shoulders, and the other one just seems like super muscular. She's got a couple of flails dangling at her side. She's got the short bobbed hair. She looks over at you guys, kind of gives a nod of her head, and she and her entourage start walking towards you. She introduces herself. Says, "Hey, welcome. My name's Brista. These are my bludgeoners, and you guys seem pretty new here. What brings you to Drakkenheim?"
Hi, I'm Layla.
Layla. Nice. Yeah. I know the doctor. But you're a curious sort. She gestures towards the GIF.
Like, hello. I'm Artio.
Yeah, Artio.
And if you really
Okay.
want to know what brings me here, I'm looking for some of the biggest monsters in town. I feel like it is time that someone does something about that infestation here.
Okay. And looking at Phoebe, Like, he's like, you guys are gonna get slaughtered. Yeah.
Elaborate.
Oh, well, I've seen many people come through. They're not up to the task. And they don't come out of the city. And I'm sorry, but it just doesn't look like you're built for it. Maybe Mr. Hippo here can handle himself, but halfling, you look like you belong in a place of books. Ugh, books. To the girl with the glasses. And then she goes, and you're too chipper. You don't even know what's here.
Books are an extremely powerful resource.
As is optimism.
Underutilized.
Ah. Well, I don't believe in hope. No. No optimism. Anyways, yeah. She gestures to the to Hippo. She says, "You think you're tough? Huh?"
Well, definitely tougher than you.
Oh, really?
Tell him! Tell him!
You know what? Why don't we go kick the can out back? See who can do it.
Kick the can? What is that? Like
She starts
that
laughing.
European game that they call soccer?
No. This is better than that. Let's show him, girls. And she escorts you to the back of the Bark and Buzzard out in the back courtyard. And
God.
sitting behind the Bark and Buzzard, like a scarecrow, there's this suit of armor just kind of chilling back there. She's like, "This is the can. You gotta kick him."
Is there anyone in there?
Artio,
Oh, it's an
Artio
empty
laughs. It's
suit
like
of armor. That's kind of up there like a scarecrow, just empty
To
suit of armor.
what? To what end? Like,
I
why
like
would
you
we do
already.
that?
What kind
Can
of
we
armor?
bring some amber out here?
Say what?
Can we bring a mug of amber ale out here?
Oh yeah,
I like
of
that
course.
game.
Yeah. I mean, they've already brought their mugs out.
Oh, okay.
Can we tell what kind
I
of
assume
armor
I
that is?
had mine too.
It's like
still
you know, like some armor you'd find. I guess it'd be plate armor, I guess, because it's like a suit, right? Like a
Is
knight
it-
would wear.
I'll go up to Artio. I know you were looking for a suit of armor. Would that fit you?
It is not
Um,
meant for. Well, I mean, he has a slider build, maybe.
Only slightly fat.
I mean, I'm just
I don't know. I mean, it looks kind of banged up, and after I'm done with it, I don't know if it's worth much as armor anymore, rather than some scrap metal. But I don't even know what we're doing here. Are we just looking at it, kicking it? What does it do? What does that show?
Just kick it.
This is a waste of my time, to be totally honest with you. I don't have time for this frivolity of kicking armor and whatever else that you guys do in this weird small town where everybody's rude. So I'll just be going back inside to finish my meal that I paid a lot of money for.
Yeah, and go read some books.
Yeah, I will. Maybe you should read a book. Maybe you should read a couple
All right.
books.
Girls, this is getting boring. I don't think he's gonna kick the can.
It's like, what does this have to do with being tough?
Just kick the
He-
can, Artio.
Sure.
Just
Sure, if everyone wants me to kick a can, I'll kick a can. But just for the record, that doesn't mean anything.
So, Artio, do you go
I'll
over
kick
and
the can.
Yeah.
I'll kick the can.
Okay, you go over and you
Then you
swing.
have to show me what you're made out of, and we're gonna
You kick
chug
it and
a mug of ale.
and she's like, "All right, you're on." You know, chugging contest afterwards. But you kick the can and it hollow rings out, dong, and just seems like this pathetic thing out here. Like, what kind of weird back village thing
That
is this?
happening.
And then you hear a, "Was that the best you can do?" And the armor starts chink, 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 and starts putting up its dukes. It's like, "Hey, have at thee."
Oh my god.
Uh,
Artio looks at his mug and he's like, "What?"
yeah, come on, you, come on. And Artio, it makes a swing at you. It makes a swipe.
All right.
It rolls an 11.
All right. It misses.
It misses. Okay, you see a whew. And then Brista's laughing. She's like, "All right, can you kick this can?"
I just kicked it.
No,
And
no.
it just
You gotta knock
wobbled
him
around.
out. You gotta knock him out.
I think
Sure,
they want
let's
you
do
to
it.
fight that armor,
Let's do
Artio.
it.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead and we'll say initiative order. Just go ahead. Oh, roll initiative. Yeah, how about that? Roll initiative.
Roll initiative. It's just a can.
What is happening?
17.
All right, you get to go first. This thing's
Mm.
trying to whack you with its gauntlets.
All right. As this thing took a first swing at me, you see kind of some purple kind of sparks going into my quarterstaff, and the quarterstaff seems to have a magical glow on it, and that's what I'm gonna use to dent the can.
Okay.
So I'm gonna swing with the shillelagh
Yep.
at the can, and it is a 17 again.
17?
Yep.
All right. As you swing at it, it deflects off the armor.
Plate. Yeah,
Plate.
that's what I thought.
And he goes, "Ha ha! Is that the best you can do?" And does a couple little swipes at you. Natural 1 and then a 21. So the natural 1 will miss, but the 21 will go and... Ouch! That was 6 bludgeoning damage.
All right.
Yeah, so you guys see him whack this thing. It rings hollow with the shillelagh, and then it misses him. And then as it spins a 360, as it's like, "Oh, missed!" Swings around again and clocks him. Now your turn again, Artio.
Artio is like, I have enough of this nonsense. I want to get back to my ale, and I cast Create Bonfire under the armor.
Oh.
Let's see if the thing likes heat.
And what must it do?
That's a Dex saving throw. It's a DC 14
All
on
right,
Dex.
easy. That's a, what was that? 5.
Then it takes 7 fire damage.
7 fire damage. All right, you see all of a sudden he goes, "Whoa! You're a fiery one. Have at thee."
Oh,
And another
wow.
couple blows coming your way. Another natural 1 and a 17.
17 hits.
Okay, and with that, it is another 6 bludgeoning damage.
Beautiful.
And Brist and them are laughing at you fighting on this guy. Does he have to make a save or something again because he's in the bonfire?
I need to do a concentration save first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's need to beat a 10, and I roll an 7, so I lose concentration.
Okay, on
But-
the bond.
I guess it's my turn.
Your turn.
Same thing again. That's all I got. But
All right. Another deck
I'm
save.
turning
That's
to the girls and I'm like, what is going on here? How long are we gonna do this nonsense?
and it fails its save.
Then it takes 8 this time. Nice. 8 fire.
8. All right. Takes 8 fire
And-
damage.
I'll just step 5 feet back. Or like 10.
And he's like,
See what's gonna happen.
what are you doing? Hey, come back here. And he starts moving towards you.
Ooh. Armor can move. Nice.
So he's gonna move towards you. Does he take damage from moving out of the bonfire?
No.
Okay, so he's coming at you, still making a couple of swipes at you. That's a 19 and an 11.
The 19 hits.
That is 7
Let's see if I'm
bludgeoning.
going to sleep.
7
Alright.
bludgeoning.
With that, RTO, the bonfire goes out, and RTO goes to sleep next to the suit of armor.
Oh, it's a knockout. And Brista, you could hear her say, "Ha ha!" They're clapping. They're like, "Another victory for old Rattlecan." And they applaud. And yeah, so you guys, an unconscious, just not dying out or anything, but just unconscious RTO, because he's been decked a little too much by him. And Brista says, "Ha! I know they weren't ready. Look at this. Pathetic." And it's just gloating over this. What do you guys do as you see this display? Poor RTO kicks a can and it's beaten by a suit of armor.
It's sad, but I didn't make any bet. I don't know what's happening. Like, oh, okay. All right.
And then you notice old Rattlecan goes back to kind of where he was and just kind of perches himself up there again, looking kind of like a weird scarecrow in the back.
This is the first time I've ever seen of this. Is this new? I'm not entirely sure what this is.
Oh no, this is a feature of the area. You just never come over here.
Yeah, but I can see why now.
Oh,
Horace, can you
can I?
help me drag our friends back to the clinic? I think he might spend the night there. So you will have a room to your own.
All right. I don't know what happened. I don't know why you got into that little tiff. But all right, let's get him up.
And I'll say, with some effort, you guys can get him to come to. You know, like, hey, buddy, shake him awake. And you don't have to drag him all the way back to the clinic. He just kind of comes to, is like, whoa, a little dizzy. And Karen peeks her head out the back and says, oh, she's kind of shaking her head. She's like, oh, they fell for it. Hey, we've got your stew, everybody. You got your stew's ready. So they bring you in, and the stew is very welcome, especially for RTO, who now has a headache.
All right.
And look, I'm kind of a little bit embarrassed, but I'm like, oh. I guess the halfling is stronger than he looks. And doctor, you might get some blood from me. Anyway,
As you guys sit
how
down,
about the check it now?
If that is an invitation, and he'll kind of take out a little gauze piece and wipe blood away from RTO.
God.
Kind of put that back.
Oh my gosh.
oh, Brista smirks at your group and says, "Oh, guess I'll see you around. that is if you are still around later. She slaps some gold on the table for their drinks, beckons to her minions, and they walk out the door.
Huh.
Interesting. Arthur, not to sound rude, but I think the can kicked your cat.
Very true. Metal was never my friend.
I can see that. Yet you want a scale mail made out of metal. Why?
I figure if it's tough for me to crack, it's tough for someone else to crack too.
But you prefer non-metal. Would
I
that
prefer
not-
it, but I'm not as stupid as I look.
I was not implying that you were.
I may not read books, but even I know that metal is tougher than leather.
Aye. Metal can be tougher than leather. This is why I use a scalpel to get through most of that armor. Metal scalpel. Well, eat up, rest up. As one says, rest is the best medicine.
I'll take your word for that, Doctor. And Artio kind of shambles away, embarrassed and defeated, to bed.
Well, that was quite the show, Horace. Thank you for helping our friends inside.
Nice.
Layla and Phoebe, have a wonderful night. It is getting late for me, and now I must set up another test with our dear friend Artheo. So, I have things to do. If you would like to meet at the drawbridge or at the stone bridge just west of my clinic and north of here, that is where we can meet to go into town.
Sounds like a plan.
As the doctor departs, and the rest of you are still at the establishment preparing to enter into your rooms, Karen comes over. She's bussing some of the tables and says, so you met some of our locals here. You're going to find that life in Emberwood Village is a little tough for new folk until you start having some success, I guess, in the city. Then people might start paying attention to you, or actually paying you less mind and giving you some distance. I think that if you guys are able to successfully bring back some delirium for sale to some of those merchants over there at the caravan court, that might be enough to kind of cement yourselves as being worthy in this village. Kind of like a rite of passage, so to speak. If you could hunt some up and bring it over to them, at least that's what I've heard from these adventurers who wander through.
All right. It sounds like we're gonna have our big debut then coming up then
I guess so.
for us.
Yeah. So, are you guys gonna power down for the night?
Yes, just a quick question for the barkeep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any followers of Fantasia?
Fantasia.
Fantasia? Are there any?
Oh, you're a worshiper of the old gods, and she kind of says it a bit lower. She's like,
Is that a problem?
The chapel here is of course, the followers of the sacred flame, and then down at that farm, the old Hendrix farm, that's where the followers of the falling fire are, which branched off from the sacred flame. But the old gods, no, we'll find people who might adhere to them every once in a while. some swear the woman northeast of the village, that she follows the old gods. I don't know if that's the truth or whether she's just a witch or I don't know. But it's about maybe as close to somebody you'll get who follows the old ways. Yeah.
Should I be careful?
Oh,
a little
she's
new
not
to
mean.
this. No, I mean of revealing.
Let's just say both followers of the falling fire and the keepers of the sacred flame, they're quite adamant about their devotion to their religion and against heresies. So, I don't know, just my 2 cents. What do I know? I don't follow either of them.
I appreciate it nonetheless.
Yeah, of course. I do hope you enjoy your stay. Yeah, there is a shrine of the old gods, manned by what she says is a witch.
On
Northeast
the
of
edge
the city.
Northeast.
On the edge of town, northeast of the city.
The city or village?
Sorry, of the village, Emberwood
Check.
Village. Yeah.
Just wanna double check.
Yep. She says, yeah, manned by an old woman called Zoya. Right. You guys gonna power down for the night? Anything else you want to do?
No, feels
No?
good.
All right, then Horace and Artio go off to their cabin, which is
Mhm.
just right
I'm
next
already
to
there.
the Bark and Buzzard. And then Layla and Phoebe, you guys make your way to your cabin. You're already there, and you guys get your rest. You guys are well rested, so go ahead and give yourselves the benefits of a long rest and all that good stuff. For the next day, begins your first foray into the outer city, the outer part of the city, to hunt for delirium or something else that can make you notable in the eyes of these individuals. And perhaps once you make a name for yourselves or demonstrate a certain fitness for this environment, more offers, more interest may come your way, more respect as well, which could help you make connections and contacts to help you achieve your aims that will take you even further into the city. Or you could forego all that and strike it out on your own, and if you want to, try to venture into the inner city and see what that's like. I will not bar you from anything.